Before you go, Exile, question for you, if I may ask it. You have touched the Force. What does it feel like?
It is a difficult thing to describe.
Please, I wish to know.
It is like a current that passes through you and carries you with it to all the places it touches.
It is like a cloud, a mist that drifts from living creature to creature, set in motion by currents and eddies. It is the eye of the storm, the passions of all living things turned into energy, into a chorus. It is the rising swell at the end of life, the promise of new territories and new blood, the call of new mysteries in the dark.
I see. Thank you both. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with me.
It was my pleasure.
You have grown strong in the Force. I can feel its touch upon you. Do not let the higher mysteries blind you to others. Turning away from that which tempts you or causes you fear is not strength. Facing it is. I have seen you display many acts of mercy, charity in our journey. Why?
There's enough suffering in the galaxy. If I can alleviate it for one person, then I've made a difference.
Even if it weakens those you help, even if it robs them of the strength needed to grow, you have been chased, hounded since our first meeting, and it has only made you stronger, more capable.
I fail to see how small acts of mercy can be harmful.
Ah, then you have learnt nothing. From such small things, from such critical points, the universe and its masses may be moved. That is why you must be careful in all that you do, and in every choice you make. Aiding them gives you strength by taking on their challenges, but weakens them. If that is your choice, then use their dependency, feed upon it, until you have exhausted them. Then leave them. And I would view the ones you travel with much the same way.
Then I shall view you as disposable then.
Ah, now you are learning. Do you know why those we meet display such weakness? As I said, their lives are static, untested. It is only through interaction, through decision and choice, through confrontation, physical or mental, that the Force can grow within you. You have seen it. You have felt it within you as you have traveled with me. The growing anger, the rage, and the power it brings. Yet the power does not build without such struggle. Through small cruelties, greater ones are born. Ask, and I will answer.
What's wrong with your eyes?
There is nothing wrong with my sight, if that is your question. I see all that I need, though the seeing of things flesh and blood has failed me some time ago. They were distractions only.
There might be a way to heal your sight.
There is nothing wrong with my eyes. They simply have atrophied from use. They are adequate to distinguish shapes, silhouettes. If need be, I could heal them, restore my sight. But sight can prove a distraction. When one relies on sight to perceive the world, it is like trying to stare at the galaxy through a crack in the door. But that is a lesson for another time. You must learn to see crude matter for what it is, before the veil is lifted.
When Visas attacked, she did something to my eyesight.
She did nothing to your eyes that was not already there. She has forced this upon you, but such crude methods are the markings of the Sith. Close your eyes. Feel this ship around you. The welding of the droid as it goes about its work.
Hey, T3 has a stuck motivator.
Now, stretch out. Hear the rumble of hyperspace, the hum of the hyperdrive.
Hey, I can hear a catch in it. It's not fully fixed.
Ignore distractions and focus on my voice. The breathing of the blinded one as she meditates in the dark.
as my feet walk from the ashes of KOTR. I shall not fear, for in fear lies death, and
I heard her speaking.
You are strong indeed. What you heard were surface thoughts only, but it is something that masters have trained for years and never learned.
But how did I do that? Can I do it whenever I want?
That is not the real question you should ask. Is such listening enough to perceive the world around you? It is not, because to listen to the thoughts of another is much like attempting to see the universe only with your eyes. It is equally limiting. Now leave me be. I must rest.
I saw what you did to those exchange thugs, stranger. Can you spare a few credits, maybe help another refugee in need?
Of course. Here, take 5 credits.
Thank you, stranger. I won't forget your kindness.
Why did you do such a thing? Such kindnesses will mean nothing. His path is set. Giving him what he has not earned is like pouring sand into his hands.
It may help him, if nothing else, but to survive.
And would that be a kindness? What if by surviving another day he brings a greater darkness upon another?
You cannot know that.
The Force binds all things. The slightest push, the smallest touch, sends echoes throughout life. Even an act of kindness may have more severe repercussions than you know or can see. By giving him something he has not earned, perhaps all you have helped him become is a target. Seeing another elevated often brings the eyes of others who suffer. And perhaps in the end, all you have wrought is more pain. And that is my lesson to you. Be careful of charity and kindness, lest you do more harm with open hands than with a clenched fist.
There is wisdom in what you say. Perhaps I shall not be so quick to offer aid in the future.
Mind what I have said. Use your power, but in its proper place.
I saw what you did to those exchange thugs, stranger. Can you spare a few credits, maybe help another refugee in need?
Get out of here before I kill you.
Forgive me, stranger, please. I beg you, do not kill me.
Why did you do such a thing? Giving into your feelings over such a small matter. They would be better served elsewhere.
These small acts of cruelty bore me. I'm wasting my time threatening slaves and refugees.
And what would you rather do?
I command the Force, and yet these small cruelties are all life presents with me.
The Force binds all things. The smallest push, the smallest touch, sends echoes throughout life. These acts of cruelty may have more severe repercussions than you know or can see.
But in the end, nothing is gained by it.
Indeed. Listen. Feel the echo. Cruelty leads to suffering. And when one suffers, it is the way of life to spread suffering. The suffering within builds until its sound is all one hears. And when a kindness is offered, it is punished. And a greater darkness is served. From one act can come tremendous power when the echo has traveled as far as it can. Send a great echo, and power will come to you. The day shall come when you can test your strength, I promise you. Your thoughts are disturbed. I can feel them from a great distance, like a shiver running through you.
I feel the background noise, like a vibration.
It is Nar Shaddaa, the true Nar Shaddaa that you feel around you. It is this moon, with the metal and machines stripped away and the currents of the Force laid bare.
It feels so alive, but with a desperation about it.
feared the damage to you had deadened you to such perceptions. What you feel is the echo of the minds of these creatures within the Force. Their anger, their greed, their desperation. It is life.
But the anger and desperation, is there some way to heal it?
One might as well heal the universe, but such manipulation is possible, yes. It requires that one be able to feel the critical point within the fractured mass, and know how to strike it in such a way that the echoes travel to your intended destination.
I'm not interested in manipulation, but healing.
Have you learned nothing? Healing is manipulation, and if you do not realize it yet, then you will discover that an act of healing depends largely on your perspective. Manipulation is done through propelling events, or selected ones, into motion. It is done through teaching, through example, and through conviction. And the greatest of victories are not manipulations at all, but simply awakening others to the truth of what you believe, of hearing it echoed around you in life. But let us be silent. Words and thoughts are distractions. Feel this moment, for as long as it will last. Feel life as it is, with the crude matter stripped away.
Please, look, I already paid the exchange what I have. Oh, look! Here's the one with your credits. About time. Look, these gentlemen are getting impatient.
Force Persuade. You two, give me all your credits and go jump into the central pit.
How did you do that? Stay away from me!
Our psychotic urge is all that drives you.
Statement. Oh, Master, that was refreshing. Nothing like a spontaneous, impulsive extermination to make my behavior core glow.
Silence, droid. I'm not speaking to you.
And what would you have done?
I would examine the situation as a whole, all of its ties to the Force, and then decide which string to pull, not sever them all at once. Such crude methods grant you nothing.
Perhaps you are right, I guess.
Perhaps. And perhaps in the future you will remember such a lesson. There are many paths in life, and some are short and empty. Oh, I grow weary of this. Perhaps time will allow my words to take root, if your common sense will not permit it.
Kreia, is something wrong?
Not as of yet.
Someone's trying to board up.
Yes. What happens next is not our fight, and your first reaction will not serve us here. Let us see what the exile will do. Awaken, beast. I have makes it mine. Kneel. Because I need you to hunt, beast. This prey is something you have chased all your life. You are born and bred to it, like no predator before you. No, that you shall not do. You will not bring harm to the exile, and if you do, beast, I shall break you. The screams of your tribe of primitives, the scene of lying blinded with the huntress's blaster at your skull, I shall make it so that is all you hear and see for the rest of your days. Even your madness will not save you if you bring harm to the exile. Know this. Oh, the life debts of your people, the life debt you have twisted with your hate, I felt it within you. I shall promise you this, beast. Unlike the red-maned huntress, as long as you are loyal, I shall never show you mercy. No pity. But most of all, I promise you an end to your debt. Hunt her, pursue her, kill her, and ending her life will end your debt to me. The pain will pass. I was able to heal some of the wounds, but the rest must remain. You will need that pain when you travel, and it will give you strength for the hunt to come. I will tell you where you must go. If you survive that place, then she will come to you. But first, I must prepare you for what is to come. Yes? Have you come with questions?
I want you to teach me more about the Force.
Very well. What is it that drives you?
Before, when you taught me to listen, I wish to continue that lesson.
Very well. Sit with me. You have brushed the surface thoughts of another. It is a start. Calm yourself. This time, silence your own thoughts. Keep them still. Imagine the waters of the room of 1,000 fountains, each stream suddenly falling silent and still. Imagine the ice of Telos, cold and smooth as it gathers upon the plateau. Now, stretch out. Feel the ship around you. Strip away the metal and see the souls and minds of those that fill its corridors with more thoughts and dreams and worries than can fill the space of this ship.
As my feet walk from the ashes of KOTR, I shall not fear, for in fear lies death, and...
This place is so quiet. Nothing like Nar Shaddaa. I don't even know why I'm here. Wonder how much the bounty on the Jedi is now. Don't understand how that Jedi keeps in shape like she does. She's barely changed from the holorecords. She just seems to be naturally beautiful.
Switch the face of the +1 -1 card. The totals are 9-10. Switch the face of the +2 -2 card. The total is 8-11. Switch.
Your command echoes still, General, and I obey, as I did at Malachor.
As my feet walk from the ashes of KOTR,
Switch the face of the +1
I shall
-1
not
card.
fear,
The totals are
for in
9-10.
fear
Switch the face of the +2
Your command
death.
echoes
card.
still,
The
General,
total is 8.
and I obey,
Switch.
as I did at Malachor.
That sound in the background, what is it?
Not now. Focus on my voice.
Malachor.
Now do you hear me? Truly hear me.
I hear you. This is incredible.
You have taken the first steps on a much longer road, exile.
What about the droids?
The droids cannot be read in such a way. As for the alien who served with you in the war, its thoughts are more difficult, requiring many translations in meaning. Often it is better to read their impulses and images than their spoken thoughts. That is why he is deaf to you. I have found his impulses are cold, like a dead weight. His thoughts are black.
But I did hear something from Beodor.
Indeed. It is strange that I did not.
Maybe it's because I know him better. I served with him.
Perhaps. I would not put much weight on such things.
There was also something wrong with Atten's thoughts.
Of course there was. It is because Atten was not playing Pazak, yet he counts cards in his head. At times, he will list off engine sequencers, memorize the hyperspace routes on the other side of the galaxy, count the ticking in the power couplings, even though they are fixed. At other times, he will imagine certain base lusts, certain indignities. It may be Atten is far cleverer than he feigns to be. Or perhaps he is simply a fool.
Perhaps. Maybe I'll go see him and see how his Pazak game is going.
Yes? Have you come with questions?
Yes, and I need some answers.
Ask, and I will answer.
Do you know Revan?
Perhaps. I think it is fair to say that few did.
Where did Revan come from?
Revan had a mother and father, parents, ancestors, like all Jedi do. And when she awakened to her potential, I was there to see it. But where she was born, where she came from, I do not know, any more than I know where she walks now. Some said that Revan was born in the outer regions, beyond the Rim, and that's what called to her during the Mandalorian Wars. And after, it was the call of home.
What else do you know of Revan?
I know more, but it may not be enough for the answers you seek.
What caused Revan to fall, to turn on the Republic?
Fall? Ah, already you presume much. You were there in Malachor. Revan's choices were always her own. It was not teaching or circumstance or example. It was her.
Then what made her turn to the dark side, become a Sith Lord?
Is that what she was? Or was she always true to herself, no matter what personality she wore? And there is something that the Council may never understand, that perhaps Revan never fell. The difference between a fall and a sacrifice is sometimes difficult, but I feel that Revan understood that difference more than anyone knew. The galaxy would have fallen if Revan had not gone to war. Perhaps she became the Dark Lord out of necessity to prevent a greater evil. I do not believe the Jedi Council changed Revan as they claimed. They merely stripped away the surface and allowed the true self to emerge again, someone who was willing to wage war to save others. But that is my belief, since I knew Revan from long ago, as a master knows their apprentice.
You trained her?
She came to me, yes, both before and after. Before Revan knew herself. And after, in the times when Revan was coming into her own and learning she was more than she had been told. At one time, Revan was my Padawan, in times past, long ago. But Revan, when she had learned all she could, had other masters, that fool Jar and other Jedi on other planets. She learned from each, but in the end, she turned back to me when she realized there was nothing more to be learned from the Jedi, except how one could leave them forever.
What was Revan like as a student?
Revan was power. It was like staring into the heart of the Force. Even then you could see the Jedi she would slay etched on her soul.
What do you see when you look at me?
You are different. When I look at you, it is like staring at the death of the Force. I know more, but it may not be enough for the answers you seek. Ask, and I will answer.
Do you know anything about the Sith who pursue us?
I know of them, yes, and how much like beasts they had become. Combined, united against the Jedi, they command legions of Sith. But above these legions there are 3 who must be stopped. As long as any one of them lives, then we, and all life, are doomed. One bathes in pain, feeds on it for sustenance. The other has ceased being a living being, so consumed by hunger that he has forgotten his own flesh. And the last is a creature of betrayals, for without such things there is no hope.
Who is the betrayer?
Even now she is difficult to see. She must remain hidden for now until the time is right. If not, then all our efforts will be for nothing. In this you must trust me. If she is exposed too soon, then this war will be over before it has begun.
The one who bathes in pain. Scion.
Yes, of pain he has learned much. Of knowledge, of teaching, he knows nothing. Like the others, he was spawned by the horrors of the Mandalorian Wars. He exists solely to spread his pain to all Jedi everywhere.
Is the one consumed by hunger Vis's master? I would know more of him.
He, if he can truly be called a man any longer, is one of the Dark Lords that pursues you. I do not think he knows what you are. Not yet. He spared the Miraluka, and that may have been the last shred of feeling that exists within him. Keep his slave close to you. I suspect there was a reason he spared her, and perhaps a reason that she survived when the rest of her people and the Jedi did not.
How did he destroy her homeworld?
It is a technique that is almost as old as the Sith themselves. It is a means of severing connections between life, the Force, and feeding upon the death it causes. It cannot be taught. It can only be gained through instinct, through experiencing its effects firsthand.
And he used it to kill an entire planet?
Yes, and he fed upon its destruction. It will sustain him for a time.
How can anyone have that kind of power?
Power? Do you think so? You would be wrong. There is no strength in the hunger he possesses, and the will behind his power is a primal thing, and it devours him as he devours others. His mere presence kills all around him, slowly feeding him. He is already dead. It is simply a question of how many he kills before he falls.
That kind of power is impossible.
Nothing is impossible with the Force. It is an energy that flows through all living things, and like energy, it may be harnessed, channeled, and consumed at times. It may even be a substance that can burn and ignite. Do not think of his power as one would a weapon, or one of your warships of the Republic. It is terrible, but it is still a subtle thing. The sect of assassins that chase you feed on the Force. What he does is simply the pinnacle of what they could achieve in time. And that is why they and their techniques must be wiped out. No one again must experience and learn what her master did.
How are they able to drain the Force?
As much as one may use the Force to bolster the wills and strengths of others, the reverse is possible, though not often used. Instead of sending one's will through connections in the Force, instead such connections are drawn upon, fed upon, and drained completely.
But all life is touched by the Force.
Then you understand how terrible such a power is, and why it must be ended. It is an empty road to the dark side, and by traveling it, the price is death before one's time. He is a breach in the Force, capable of consuming the lives of those around him. Sometimes the touch is slow, as it is with his crew.
So he feeds on Force sensitives.
It is not something he can direct or focus, much like hunger itself. He is more of a hole in the Force than a living thing. Force sensitives and worlds rich in the Force draw him. The Miraluka world was one such place. That is why where the Jedi gather, Jedi will die. He will feel it, unless they mask their presence. But KOTR called out as a beacon to him, and he could not resist it. And he cares nothing for the Sith, or its teachings, or the Jedi. And when the Jedi are dead, he will feed on the galaxy, the Republic, and eventually consume the Sith as well. There is no future in the empty galaxy he sees, and that is why he must be stopped. The breach must be sealed before his power grows beyond what even we can hope to stop.
He is no longer a man?
One cannot have power of that magnitude that her master possesses and still think and perceive the universe as we do, as most of us do. I had hoped that you would not have to confront him, but her presence here has changed all that. You will have to meet him in battle. You must be prepared to sacrifice the Blinded One. Perhaps her death will buy you the time you need to deal with her master.
Perhaps I can convince her to sacrifice herself. That would be a twin victory, I think.
If you have such power, then I would make use of it. There is no need to dirty your hands when you can convince another to drive a blade into their own heart.
And I thought I was cold.
Oh, you have promise. But wait until you have more years fall upon you, and you will see what a shell your heart will become.
Do you have any idea why he spared her?
Perhaps he is bound to her, as I am bound to you. If so, there may be a death served by hers. You must be prepared to sacrifice the Blinded One. Perhaps her death will buy you the time you need to deal with her master. Why are you here?
Because I told her everything.
Ah, and now you are free.
Yeah, so no more threats, no more of your requests. You and me, we're done.
Did you ever think I truly held you? You're more of a fool than I thought. What truly held you was you, and let me show you why. I once held the galaxy by the throat, as you once held her by the throat and let her die slowly. And your emotion at that point is what you fear. I wielded power like you cannot imagine. Everything I saw was awash with possibilities, spreading outwards, touching everything else. I saw all of that, all that the Force is. And only when it was ripped from me did I truly see it. And I know what lies buried within you, that you hide with your desperate thoughts, your guilt, your lusts. I can unlock that part of you anytime I wish. It is a simple thing, the human mind. Once it feels something strongly, it becomes etched in the memory, the subconscious. Shall I show you? That part of you that hungered to kill Jedi, that took pleasure from it? Or perhaps you will continue to listen to my counsel, and I shall ignore your pathetic attempts at freedom. Now leave me, murderer. I have nothing further to say to one such as you.
How are the port stabilizers?
They check out Mandalore, all systems are green.
Good. I want the shuttle bound for Onderon within the hour. What do you want?
Is all in readiness?
It is. Like I promised. Why? You want to back out now?
My only concerns are for the one you escort to Onderon, Mandalorian. Would you do any less for one of your clan?
Don't pretend to understand us. We Mandalorians are a breed apart.
If by apart you mean scattered, broken, and lost, then yes, you are correct.
Not for long. Soon the Mandalorians will be strong again, united as one clan under one banner. Mine.
Ah, yes. The Great Crusade, after the first one was ended by Revan and the Jedi. Such a defeat was merciful, an echo of the end, when your ships were in flames, crushed in the grip of Malachor V. But I do not need to remind you of such things.
I was at Malachor V, and I remember how many Jedi died to stop us there. And no matter how many dead orbit that planet, the Mandalorians still live. Clan Ordo still lives. See Kex there? He was serving on Nar Shaddai's muscle for the Hutts. Kelborn was a scout for the Duros on Frontier Worlds. I brought them here, gave them a purpose. This galaxy will be ours again, I promise you. That is the future.
Indeed. The future is always in motion. It is a difficult thing to see. Perhaps there will be no New Age Mandalore, no great Mandalorian crusade. Perhaps your people fought their last battle at Malachor V, and you have been dying ever since, a quiet death that will last centuries. And perhaps all that remains will be what I see before me. A man wounded by a Jedi, encased in a Mandalorian shell, hunted by the thought of being the last of the Mandalorians.
You've got some guts talking to me like that. You think your age or your Jedi whelp are going to keep you safe from me?
No, Mandalore, you are wrong. I hope that it is you who will keep the one I travel with safe. You are loyal, and you have served many masters, even following them into darkness. Do you wonder where she wanders now, Mandalore? Why she cast you down, left you broken at the edge of the galaxy?
How do you know that?
I know many things, and I can answer the question that burns within your shell, Mandalore. But there is a price. You must keep the one I travel with safe. She is important to me, more important than anything. Show the same loyalty you have shown in the past, Mandalore. If there is a Mandalorian crusade, let it be for something that will carry your people's memory into the future. So when the time comes when there are no more Mandalorians, then at least their honor will remain. The one I travel with has walked your same path, and I ask that when the end comes, that you remember that kinship, even if it seems there is nothing else left.
Forget the Jedi. Keep your eyes on her.
Yes? Have you come with questions?
I want you to teach me more about the Force.
Very well. What is it that drives you?
Before, when I heard the thoughts of my companions, I heard something like an echo.
Ah, I had wondered if... But your powers are strong indeed. There are places in the galaxy, strong in the Force, light, dark. They are born in places teeming with life, and in places that are filled with death. Worlds whose surfaces are graveyards, whose screams echo through the Force. It is possible for war, for men to give birth to such places, to leave wounds on the galaxy itself. What you heard was the echo of the past, and it travels still.
But that sound, that echo, it was more than beyond the ship. It was the people in it.
Of course, that is the nature of echoes. And when there is a wound in the Force, it rarely leaves the life around it untouched. The answer will come to you in time. It must. When there is nothing more that you may learn from me, when the ruins of your past have been cleared away and I am no more, then you shall know what it is. And if you do not, then the galaxy shall die, and all my hopes for you will have been for nothing. Yes?
I want you to teach me more about the Force.
Very well. What is it that drives you?
I wish to ask about the lesson related to my skills.
Have you done as I asked?
I have devoted myself to repairing machines.
Very well. Then know this. Many are the times I meditate in the silence of my chambers. Do you know why I do this? I do this so that I might center myself, listen to the currents of the galaxy. There are others who may achieve this in occupying the mind, in achieving a moving meditation where operating on machinery achieves a similar effect. Skill does not always draw from the Force, but it is a measure of power nonetheless. It can grant knowledge, help steady oneself when one's thoughts are in chaos, or grant enlightenment. Much can be achieved without the Force, as you know. Life continues, persists, and may be helped or harmed as a result. Now I am tired. Leave me to my meditations. It is different. It has been some time. Forgive me, but I need to rest. Go on. The council awaits. I will remain here.
What's wrong?
I am tired. The journey has been a long one, and I need to center myself. Know that much may happen here, but above all, do not forget this. You may trust in me. We cradle each other's lives, and what threatens one of us threatens us both. And if you find you cannot trust me, trust in your training, trust in yourself. Never doubt what you have done. All your decisions have brought you to this point. And now, perhaps, they shall see what you have become.
It was too much for any Jedi to endure, and it is a wonder that you did not die there when thousands perished. All those you had fought with and struggled with. You cut yourself off because you had to if you were to survive. You had hints of it in the war on Doxon. Malachor was simply the final blow.
You were deafened.
At last, you could hear.
You were broken.
You were whole.
You were blinded.
And at last, you saw.
When you returned to us, we saw what had happened. You carry all those deaths at Malachor within you. And it has left a hole, a hunger that cannot be filled.
In you, we saw a wound in the Force.
In you, we saw the end of the Force.
But that makes no sense. I can feel the Force again.
Yes, you can feel the Force, but you cannot feel yourself. You are a cipher, forming bonds, leeching the life of others, siphoning their will and dominating them. It is the teaching of these new Sith to feed on others, on other Force sensitives. They are symptomatic of the wound in the Force. You are a breach that must be closed. You transmit your pain, your suffering through the Force. Within you we see something worse than merely the teachings of the Sith. What you carry may mean the death of the Force, and the death of the Jedi.
I am stronger than I ever was.
So you think. It is not the strength of a Jedi you feel.
He's right. It's all the death you've caused to get here. You feed on it, and you grow stronger. You're like Malachor. It's in you, it's what you are now. You must have noticed as you fought across all these planets, killing hundreds, only to become more and more powerful. Why do you think that was?
But what's worse is that bonding you have. It hasn't gone away. It's gotten stronger, and the more attachments you form, the more you draw others to you.
And that is why you are a threat to us all.
You know what the choice is. If you don't warn them, then the Republic will fall. All those countless lives, innocent lives.
Or the one.
What if other Jedi went to war as you did, suffered the same events, and emerged as you did? What if there was a crucible that trained such Jedi to consume and kill?
For you, Malachor was that crucible.
What's worse is these Sith that we face. I fear that they have learned the lesson of Malachor all too well. It is what allows them to prey on Force users, to become stronger when Force sensitives are near.
Somehow they have learned their hunger from you. And so you have brought about the end of the Jedi, and perhaps all the knowledge of the Force. But it is of no consequence. Your ability to make such connections, such bonds so easily are why you cannot remain.
And so you wait, as a shadow.
Yes, we are alike that way, blinded one.
I would have thought you would walk with her amongst the Jedi, but that is not the way of the Sith, is it?
Do not speak to me of the ways of the Sith. You, of all of us, have no conception of what it means to be Sith.
You are a threat to living creatures and all who feel the Force.
You will lead the Sith here, and that we cannot allow.
Our judgment before remains. Exile. You must leave. And you must leave without your tie to the Force. It is a punishment reserved for only a few, and only when necessary. But we have the power to cut you off from the Force, and it must be done.
Forgive us, but it is necessary.
I will submit to this punishment.
Do not be afraid. You shall feel no pain, but this must be done. As long as you feel the Force, you are a danger to those around you.
Enough! Step away from her.
What?
Step away! She has brought truth, and you condemn it. The arrogance. You will not harm her. You will not harm her ever again.
I thought you had died in the Mandalorian Wars.
Die? No. Became stronger. Yes.
Is this your new master, Exile? If so, then you follow Revan's path. Her teachings will cause you to fall as surely as she did.
She is difficult to see. She's like a shadow of the Exile. We sought to lure the Sith out, and now they have come to us.
How could you ever hope to know the threat you face when you have never walked in the dark places of the galaxy, faced war and death on such a scale? If you had traveled far enough, rather than waiting for the echo to reach you, perhaps you would have seen it for what it was. Did you not hear its call on Dantooine Vrook, on its scarred surface, and in the minds of the settlers? I have endured your corruption of my other students. You shall not have this one. And you, Kavar, so close to the call of Daxan, tell me, did you not feel what poured from the moon, what had taken place there? And Zezkael, to hide upon Nar Shaddaa, yet blind yourself to all that happens there. So close to understanding the Force, so close to giving it up. There is a place in the galaxy where the dark side of the Force runs strong. It is something of the Sith, but it was fueled by war. It corrupts all that walks on its surface, drowns them in the power of the dark side. It corrupts all life, and it feeds on death. Revan knew the power of such places, and the power in making them. They can be used to break the will of others, of Jedi, promising them power and turning them to the dark side. Did you never wonder how Revan corrupted so many of the Jedi, so much of the Republic, so quickly? The Mandalorian Wars were a series of massacres that masked another war, a war of conversion, culminating in a final atrocity that no Jedi could walk away from, save one. And that is what I sought to understand. How one could turn away from such power, give up the Force, and still live. But I see what happened now. It is because you had no choice. As you would pass judgment on her, I have come to pass judgment on you all. Do you wish to feel the teachings born of the Mandalorian Wars, of all tragedies that scream across the galaxy? Let me show you, you who have forever seen the galaxy through the Force. See it through the eyes of the Exile. It is done. She is no more. Take me to Atris. She will have the strength to do what the Council cannot.
What are we gonna do? If we don't stop her, then everyone, everywhere, they're gonna lose their lives.
If I lose her, it will be my failing. It is the failing of the Jedi who followed Revan. It is a failing of their teaching.
Soon your ship will come, my master. I will bring her before you, but I will not let you have her. Soon your ship shall come from that which made you.
I know you can hear me. I have always known. It is why I followed you.
I have destroyed planets for you, General, but now, this once, if we could save something in this galaxy. I need to do this, or I will die inside,
like I died at Malachor 5.
Who is there?
Who I am is not the question.
I am Atris, Jedi Master, the last historian of the Jedi, the last of the Jedi.
Those are titles, words you cling to as the darkness falls around you. It is not the first time we have met, Atris. I was here before.
With the exile?
Yes, I was here both times when the exile was brought before you.
Who are you?
I was the one who asked...
You seem familiar to me. You are that which has attacked the Jedi. You are Sith.
Sith is a title, yes, but like you, the title is not who I am. It is not what I believe. For you, it is different. Know that there was once a Darth Treya, and that she cast aside that role, was exiled, and found a new purpose. But there must always be a Darth Treya, one that holds the knowledge of betrayal, who has been betrayed in their heart, and will betray in turn. You have bathed in the knowledge of the Sith, but there is not enough truth in such teachings. But it will be a step for you. You have gathered Sith holocrons, Sith teachings from across the galaxy. It is why you have chosen servants who cannot feel the Force. And most importantly, they cannot feel what you have become.
I have sought to preserve the Jedi Order, and I have gathered all that I know of the Sith to this place, so I might find them and stop them.
I had wondered if any of these holocrons had survived Dantooine. You have taken relics from one destroyed planet to the devastation of another.
It was always intended for the Jedi to retreat to Telos should Dantooine be attacked, taking all their lore with them. We could not allow the tragedy at Ossus to happen again.
Such an act marked Telos for destruction. It is why the Sith came here, though the fleet commanders did not know why. It is why Revan ordered its destruction to mark the beginning of the Jedi's civil war. It was a message that there would be no place for the Jedi to retreat, to hide. I would not be surprised if Revan left other gifts beneath the surface of the planet. Much can be buried beneath graveyards that will never be found.
When the Sith attacked, I felt Telos die. Turbo lasers fell like lightning upon the landscape, as they did on Dantooine, and so many died, so many voices, screaming in pain.
Yes, such acts leave their mark on the galaxy. Their cries travel far, though few can hear them.
How did it happen?
Search your heart. It was never battle that called to you, never battle that caused you to fall. Malachor 5 has touched many things, and it casts its echoes still.
Why did she betray me?
You betrayed yourself. Do not blame the exile. And unlike you and I, there is still a chance that one may be saved. The one that you cast out.
Where is the exile? I had thought...
Oh, she will come, but it will be too late to save either of us. It is such a quiet thing to fall, but far more terrible is to admit it. Your mistress awaits. She has much to share with you. It has been some time.
You were a fool to return. I spared you once. I will not do so again.
Spare me? Ah, yes. No, you simply did not learn the lesson I sought to teach. That your strength is as meaningless as the strength of my hand.
Why have you returned?
Because now I understand why the exile did what she did. There is much to be done.
master she is here.
I know.
What is thy bidding, my master?
You are to do nothing. When she arrives, bring her before me.
She may not survive Malachor.
So touching. Can it be you still have feelings within that shell?
Master, what will you do to her?
You know what I shall do. You, who wear my teachings so well. I will break her. She is a blank slate upon which my teachings may be written, as you well know. Leave me. Await the arrival of the exile. When she comes, bring her before me.
If the exile has come here, then she has not come alone.
Of course, apprentice. The huntress is with the exile. She has a special talent for finding that which should remain lost. It also makes her difficult for me to sense, but not to a creature bred for such things.
Shall I send the assassins for her?
No, I have brought a beast to Malachor to deal with that one. We shall see if prey can become a predator. Her breaking shall be flesh and bone, or it shall be inside. If she survives, she will become stronger for it. At last you have arrived. Is Malachor as you remember?
It's not too late, Kreia. I can save you, if you let me.
I have thought of this moment more than you know, and I wondered if here, at this ending between us, if you would care enough to try to save me. If a Jedi could find it within themselves to spare one who has fallen so far. I wanted you to say those words. For that I am grateful. But I do not want your mercy. I want you to break.
There is much I must ask you.
You no doubt have many questions. I would be a poor teacher if I did not give you the answers you seek here now.
Why did you destroy Atris?
I never destroyed Atris. She had destroyed herself. I merely stripped away the illusion and brought her truth. Her teachings could not be allowed to continue, and like Malachor, she was part of your past, unresolved. She needed to be something you could confront and defeat one last time. It was part of your training, part of what was needed to make you complete. And there must always be a Darth Treya. The galaxy needs its betrayers, especially in the times to come. She loved you, you know, as one loves a champion. You were all that she could not be.
I had thought she had nothing but contempt for me.
Yes, it is all that is left unsaid upon which tragedies are built. More echoes traveling through the Force.
Why have you done this?
It is said that the Force has a will. It has a destiny for us all. I wield it, but it uses us all, and that is abhorrent to me, because I hate the Force. I hate that it seems to have a will, that it would control us to achieve some measure of balance when countless lives are lost. But in you, I see the potential to see the Force die, to turn away from its will, and that is what pleases me. You are beautiful to me, Exile. A dead spot in the Force, an emptiness in which its will might be denied.
If you hate the Force, why do you use it?
I use it as I would use a poison, and in the hopes of understanding it, I will learn the way to kill it. But perhaps these are the excuses of an old woman who has grown to rely on a thing she despises.
You were manipulating me all along.
Yes, always. From the moment you awoke, I have used you. I have used you so that you might become strong, stronger than I, and I used you to make those who wounded me reveal themselves so they could be killed by the Republic.
So you used me to get revenge on Scion and the others.
I used you to keep the Lords of the Sith from condemning the galaxy to death with their power unchecked. I used you to lure them to Telos, where they could be at last fought and killed. I used you to reveal Atris's corruption so that her teaching could be ended before it began. I used you to gather the Jedi so they could be destroyed. And I used you to make those who wounded me reveal themselves so they could be killed by the Republic.
Why me?
Perhaps you were expecting some surprise, for me to reveal a secret that had eluded you, something that would change your perspective of events, shatter you to your core. There is no great revelation, no great secret. There is only you.
But there were other Jedi you could have chosen.
No, there were not. In times past and in times future, there are Jedi who will stop listening to the Force, those that will try to forget it, but maintain unconscious ties. And those, as in the past, just as I, who have had the Force stripped from them. But no Jedi ever made the choice you did, to sever ties so completely, so utterly, that it leaves a wound in the Force. It was a mistake to try to make you feel it again, I see that now. There is no truth in the Force, but there is truth in you, Exile, and that is why I chose you.
This academy here won't last, Kreia. I can activate the mass shadow generator again.
More talk of machines and threats. If you would end Malachor, then do it. But it will not be a victory for you. You may hold Malachor in your grasp, but I hold the answers to your past and future in mine. Would you destroy us both before learning them? If so, then do it, for you have already failed me.
If I had to, I would. You have to be stopped.
I know, but there is more than death in this galaxy, and you shall not find it easy. It was difficult to draw you here, but it had to be done. This place is your last test. It is the graveyard of the past, where you lost everything. It is the dark place in your mind that still echoes of failure. Now we shall see if you can overcome the weight of Malachor and silence the echoes that beat from its heart.
Then let us end this. Yield, Kreia. You need not die.
If you do not kill me, I shall end you. Strike me down. End this.
I am Jedi, and I will not strike a defenseless opponent. No, this is already over. Your life is yours, Kreia, and you cannot teach me anymore.
You will not show me mercy. I will see you break before you do. It is done. At last, it is done. You are greater than any I have ever trained. By killing me here, you have rewarded me more than you can possibly know.
Kreia, there is still time to save you.
Save me? You already have. It is enough what you have done, from now into the future.
The future?
Many things do I see as I gaze here from the heart of Malachor. This place channels such energies. If it matters to you at this last moment, I shall look into the future and tell you of what I see. It is my last gift to you, from one exile to another.
What will happen to my friends?
You travel with them for so long, yet you do not know them still. Feel them through the Force, feel what they feel, hear their thoughts and know them as I fought to know you. They were the lost Jedi, you know, the true Jedi upon which the future will be built. They simply needed a leader and a teacher.
Tell me of Mira.
She will stop hunting life and instead live it. She was not born to be a predator, despite her true father and the life she led within the shadow of Nar Shaddaa. She will miss you and think of you often, you who awakened her to what life is. She will live, but only for a time. Her death will occur in many years' time on a forgotten planet, saving the lives of others. But it will be her choice, and she will have no regrets.
And Mandalore?
Many battles does that one have left in him, as Revan intended. A general needs an army as he needs those he trusts, and Canderous is a loyal beast, no matter how much he is broken upon Revan's will. But you know this.
What of the Mandalorians?
They will die a death that will last millennia, until all that remains is their code, their history, and in the end, the shell of their armor upon the shell of a man too easily slain by Jedi.
And Vistus? What of her?
The blinded one's heart has now been put to rest. Now that vengeance no longer clouds her sight, she shall be stronger for it. She will leave her memories of KOTR in the wreckage of the past, and instead turn her eyes to the future that you have put before her.
And the disciple?
He cannot help but love you in his way. It is a pure, ideal love he holds, yet somehow it never dulls in your presence or through your actions. If he leaves this place, he will leave the galaxy behind him. He will sit upon the new council, reluctantly as all good men do, and he will not forget the Jedi who had lost the Force, yet showed him the way to reclaim it. After that I do not know. I do know that you must leave him behind, the same choice that Revan made. Where you are destined, you must not take anyone you love, and of the ones who traveled with you, that is all I see.
But what about Atton?
Atton shall keep his murderer's heart. Many deaths shall he cause in the dark corners of the galaxy, always hunting, always finding prey. He shall grow hungry in a galaxy where there are few Jedi, and it will eventually consume him. But I shall say no more.
Did he love me?
There is no love left in a heart such as that one. But he would die for you, yes. I do not believe one would die lightly for one did not care about.
Did you love me?
I would have killed the galaxy to preserve you. I would have let the galaxy die. You are more rare than you know, and what you have taught yourself must not be allowed to die. You are not Sith, not truly, and it is for that I love you.
And Beodor, and the droids.
Their paths are unknown to me, even the small one who waits for you outside this place. I sense it has one last journey for you. You must go where Revan did, into the unknown regions, where the Sith, the true Sith, wait in the dark for the great war that comes.
And Revan, she came here, was here. What happened to her?
It is because she remembered what lay buried here, this place, its teachings. It paved the way to Korriban, you know, the remnants here. And because Malachor, like Korriban, is on the fringes of the ancient Sith Empire, where the Sith wait for us in the dark.
But we fought the Sith.
Have we? You thought that the corrupted remnants of the Republic, the machines spawned by technology that Revan led into battle, were the Sith? You are wrong. The Sith is a belief, and its empire, the true Sith Empire, rules elsewhere. And Revan knew the true war is not against the Republic. It waits for us beyond the Outer Rim. and she has gone to fight it in her own way. And she left the Ebon Hawk and all its machines behind, for she knew she would not need them. And like you, she knew she must leave all loves behind as well, no matter how deeply one cares for them.
Why?
Because such attachments would only bring doom to them both in the dark places where she now walks. It would have helped had she made him understand. But a hero of the Republic, no matter how brave, cannot understand war as Revan did.
Why did you not follow her?
Because I did not know where she had gone. If she had asked, would I have gone? I do not know. But she will need warriors, Sith and Jedi, any who can be sent after her into the depths of space for any who know the way. Perhaps you shall go there with her and do battle at the end of all things. Instead, I remained here and now show others the way.
What of the Republic?
The Republic will fall as it always has, a fall that will take millennia under the care of the herds of Ithor. The surface of Telos will bloom again, and its golden fields shall again harbor scientists and thinkers. And complacent and peaceful, it shall forget the time that Saul Karath orbited it and brought fire to its skies. But it shall be a home world again to others who will stretch out across the galaxy and bring life.
Tell me of Dantooine.
Dantooine shall survive. The community you saved shall be the foundation upon which Dantooine shall be habitable again. They shall drive back the raiders, the Mandalorians, and all that strike at the outer rim. The Republic shall again establish their presence there, and shield it with its forces. And Dantooine shall heal, be safe, and its skies free. The ruins of the Academy shall remain.
And Nar Shaddaa?
Nar Shaddaa shall persist as it always has, but there will be a heart to the world where there was nothing before, where once the lost and disposed were trapped there. Now they will struggle and grow. From despair shall come hope.
What about Onderon?
Queen Talia shall have a long reign. Much good will come of it. She will, as she has, rule wisely and well. Onderon shall remain in the Republic, and the world shall prosper, though its people shall, over time, lose their customs in the ocean of the Republic, and become the people of Onderon no longer.
Tell me about Korriban.
Korriban shall be as it always was, a graveyard for the darkest of the Sith Lords, still whispering within their tombs. It shall always be a source of evil, spawning threats throughout the millennia. It, like Malachor, brushes the edges of the Empire that waits in the dark. And like Malachor, the Sith have forgotten it. For a time, they will remember. Revan knew this.
Rest now, Kreia. Your time in this place is over. The core of this planet shall be your grave.